welcome to episode 13 of Two Guys, Zero Planners, brought to you by Ron and the folks over at Pen Chalet. If you want great stationery at good prices with fast shipping, head on over to penchalet.com. There, you can get free shipping on orders over $50 in the US and earn your way towards a free bottle of ink with their Ink Rewards program. Head on over to Pen Chalet, click on that radio podcast link at the top of the page, and enter 2 guys, that's the number 2, guys, all one word, for 10% off site-wide. And thank you to Pen Chalet for sponsoring 2 Guys, Zero Planners. So, Urban, it's been a week.
Yeah, we tried to record. Now it's Tuesday here, and we tried to record on Friday. I think I got up 3 times during the night because of the kids, and then I didn't want to get up at 5:30 to record again. So we moved it a day. And then someone broke your internet, I guess.
At the end of my street, we have this, giant switch box that houses the internet switch for pretty much the entire neighborhood. And some guy thought that it would be a good idea to drive through it. So it took them the better part of 15 hours to replace the entire box and make sure all the fiber was done correctly.
At least yours, right? You never know. We also had the situation that we didn't really have internet because there was just this one tiny thing wrong, right?
I mean, I don't care about my 300 neighbors here at the apartment complex. I just want my internet working, and it seems to be working, so I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much all of the podcasts last week that I was supposed to be in ended up being delayed, or someone had to fill in for me. Because earlier in the week, before the whole internet thing started, my power supply on my computer decided to shock me.
Huh. Yeah, that's not good.
No, it's not. It was a 7-year-old power supply, and one of the capacitors on the 12-volt rail decided to unload, I'm guessing, all 500 watts, like all 500 watts into me. It was... Yeah, I'm guessing it was that much because I did the thing where like my body seizes up and I start shaking a little bit until the electricity finally finds a way out of me.
Whoa.
Yeah. All that because the grounding plate that I normally ground to apparently decided not to work, or I wasn't in full contact with it, or whatever the case may be. But yeah, so last week was a good week.
Yeah.
I mean, it was actually a good week, other than all the bad stuff that happened. We had some good pen moments, and I threw some paper into a dishwasher.
Yeah, I didn't have time to watch the video yet, but yeah, that sounds fun.
Yeah, apparently somebody didn't like my mistreatment of paper. They decided to go ahead and dislike the video for it. Hey, well, paper, things happen to paper. If it's not going to be the dishwasher, it's going to be the wash machine.
That is true. Although the dishwasher is better than the washing machine, I think.
Exactly. I mean, you're not going to ruin any dishes with fountain pen ink, but you can ruin a lot of clothes with a pen in the washing machine.
Yeah, and paper. Paper is also fun in the washing machine.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've got some horror stories from that when I was a kid.
Yeah, I guess we all have, right?
That one time where you leave something in your pockets and next thing you know, your mom's yelling down at you, "Why did you leave this in your blanking pocket?" It's like, I don't know. Quit yelling at me.
Exactly. Yeah.
Enough about washing machines. So you decided to go ahead and cross a vintage Wall Eversharp nib with a TWSBI Eco?
So a friend of mine reached out to me and said, "Hey, I have these 2 pens from my mom. They need to be restored, and I know you're into fountain pens. Let me just send them to you." He's from the UK, and so, he sent them, and the one was this Wall with a stub nib that was totally bent. I would guess the pen landed on the nib. It was a bit of I had to soak the pen for an hour or 2 to get the nib out and the section out and all the the crumbling sack. And yeah, that pen that is basically broken. I don't think you can repair it. So I decided, hey, let's try to bend the nib a bit and put it in the Eco. For the second pen, I guess that's a bit newer. That's also a pen from the UK, a Stevens lever filler. Well, for one, I couldn't even get the nib out. And yeah, but I could get the section off and could take out the old sack. And now I just need to eventually get around to figuring out where to get a new sack and some shellac and then repair that pen. Because I think that one is in a much better shape and that could actually be a nice user.
Well, if you were stateside, I'd have a few websites to point you to, but I don't know any places over in Europe that would have like vintage repair. I think Jesse would potentially know.
Yeah, I don't even have the time to research that right now. So it was actually surprisingly easy to get that nib sort of in the correct shape again. I did the big no and actually used pliers to bend it and not just my fingers because it was so bent out of shape.
So many people listening to this just had a shiver run down their spines.
Yeah, but if you have one of the tines, basically, I don't know how many degrees out of, 45 degrees. It's just, and it's not like it was bent at the tip, but sort of at the back, almost where the breather hole is, and it was kind of, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Hard. So it was really weird. It's like if it managed to fall on one of the tines and it sort of pushed back the whole one side of the nib to sort of bend upwards.
I'm surprised the entire tine didn't just snap off.
Yeah, maybe that's because it's a fairly flexy nib, actually.
Well, like last year when I dropped my Homo sapiens with the palladium nib, the left tine, like half of it snapped off completely.
Yeah. I don't know. It is weird. I mean, or someone just bent it because I don't know why, but the clip on that pen is also totally bent, and that doesn't look like it falling. It's just really weird. I don't know.
It sounds like somebody just decided to abuse that pen.
Yeah, I don't know.
Kids, don't abuse your pens. Please don't.
But now it writes. It sometimes takes a second to start, but it's a really nice stub nib, actually. It's also flexy, but it doesn't make much of a difference because it's so broad already.
I mean, it looks like it's laying down a pretty good line, so.
Yeah, and I sort of made it a bit drier because I thought maybe that will help with the hard starting, and I think it did.
Good.
Yeah, so my first experience with vintage nibs, and I guess eventually also with repairing vintage pens, should I ever get around to it.
So, moving on from the pen gore, because I can't stand too much shivering, you got yourself a second 456?
Yes, I just couldn't resist that color combination. I'm generally not a fan of gold trim or really light pens, but somehow this combination of cream colored acrylic and gold trim actually works, I think. I
mean, it's got a very vintage look to it almost.
Yeah, what was the it does. Someone Aiden, what was his comment? It was really the pen screams 80s old church convention center aesthetics. I think that's not a bad description.
Okay, I was going to go with classic Roman architecture, but sure, if we want to say it has church aesthetics. I've been in a few Pentecostal churches that looks like that, so I could agree.
Yeah. And again, I mean, the 456 is really well made. In this case, yeah, it's a bit weird. So the gold trim is actually matte, which works for most places. Just the threads, sort of the threads on the body are also matte, right? So you have this matte threads that you turn, which is not the best feeling.
Yeah, no, just hearing you describe that kind of makes it sound like a turnoff for me.
Yeah, I mean, a bit of silicone grease helps. But then on the other hand, you now have matte threads with silicone on it, and of course everything collects there.
So if anyone from Pen BBS is listening to this, please make a version without the matte threads. That would be awesome. We would really appreciate you and buy tons of them. Yeah, we'll stick with that. We'll buy tons of them. The looking awkwardly side by side thing only works when there's other people in the room to see you do it.
All right, and that's actually my pens, because I've been back at work and I just didn't even have time to buy pens. Well, not quite true. I have one nice pen coming for next episode, but
oh, fair enough.
Right.
Man, I mean, I will say though, it looks like a very nice Pen BBS pen. I mean, I think they're slowly making the move, in my mind at least, away from cheap Chinese pen to decent, lower price Chinese pen.
Yeah, I mean the 456 is really, really well made. It's quite a step up from most of their other pens, apart from the bulk filler, the 355. So it's definitely, you can definitely feel that this is much better made than for example, the 267 that you had.
Yeah. Wait, I think I actually still have it.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it's at my desk at work. Yeah, it is. That's where it is.
Didn't you sell it to Phil?
I ended up getting a second one.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Yeah, I got a second one and left it at my desk at work.
Okay. Same color or a different
Same
one?
color. That way I could have a winter-themed desk pen for that time of the year.
Oh, well, nice.
Mm-hmm. So I keep 4 cheap Chinese pens at my desk at work. That way I've got fountain pens at least when I'm working. Mm-hmm. And I'll carry 2 additional pens from home in my Masubi pen case.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you can leave the Chinese pens at work, that's true, but the others, yeah, maybe not a good idea.
Yeah, I'm not leaving a Nakai out at work.
Yeah, or one of your new pens. It seems like for a while I've always had more pens to talk about for each episode, but this time it's actually we're even, right?
Yeah, we're both tied at 2. So the post office quit playing games with me, and my diplomat finally came in.
Mm-hmm. How do you like it?
It's a very nice matte silver. I actually like the way it feels in the hand. The only thing I would potentially change about the diplomat section, let me grab it really quick. Okay, so the only thing I would really change about the section is at the end of the section, it kind of has an indentation before the taper that keeps your finger from just slipping onto the nib.
Mm-hmm.
I wish they would get rid of that small indentation and just like concave the section itself instead of just making it a straight section with that quick dip right before the taper.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, though, I really like I like how it's got a industrial feel to it without being just gaudy. I mean, also it looks like a blimp.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's, I guess, where the name comes from. I'm not 100%, it's not 100% my design, and I've had bad experiences with pens with big step ups, so I haven't yet ordered one. But yeah, I mean, they're coming in a lot of nice colors.
They really are. This color, I like it. The blue is a little too blue for me. It's like Bay State blue. It's just way too blue.
Yeah.
Same thing with the orange. It's kind of just like way too orange. But this matte silver, it looks nice. It really does. I guess the big question, and this is going to let the cat out of the bag before I do the review of it, would I pay full retail price for this pen? No.
Yeah, I mean, it is a bit, yeah.
Yeah, I would not pay full retail for this. I think it's like a $150 pen before any type of discount. And if I was buying from a retailer that didn't have it with a discount of any kind, I just would not purchase this pen. I don't think it's a $150 pen, maybe $120, but that's about where I stop.
Yeah, it seems like if I look it up, the most versions go for 130 or 140 here as well. Yeah, I mean, that's why I always look at it and think, at that price, no, not really.
Yeah, it's 156 here.
Yeah.
So even after the 10% two guys discount, that's still putting it at 140, which that's a little rich for my blood, but since you're not paying for shipping, I guess I'm okay with that. Yeah, just not 156. Definitely not that. And like you said, the biggest reason I wouldn't pay that full price for it is that step down. I mean, that is one of the first things you notice. It's got a nice long section.
Yeah.
But if you have a grip where your fingers rest more lengthwise along the body of the pen, that step is going to cause some very serious issues.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it works for some people and doesn't for others, right? And I just looked it up, and price-wise, that's about same as the Excellence A+, which is their higher end. That's the one I have, which is I paid about the same amount, right? 140.
Wow, that one's running $180 here.
Yeah, maybe I just got lucky. You never know.
I don't know. I think we end up paying quite a bit more for stationery for the most part, just because of import taxes and whatnot.
Yeah, that could be.
It gets pretty interesting sometimes, but I don't know. I mean, I may go ahead and just send the Arrow to you after I do the review of it so you can give it a try, see if you like it. Push comes shove, if you don't like it, you can always ship it back.
Oh, yeah. The more interesting pen is the other one, I think, anyway, right?
Yeah. Honestly, when I go down to Arizona here in a few weeks, I'm going to go ahead and try the Excellence if Ron has one of them in stock that I can try and see how it feels.
Yeah, so the A+, which is sort of the even a bit more expensive model, the cool thing about that one is like it is not a snap cap, it's a screw cap, and it uncaps in, I think, third of a turn or something like that.
Oh, wait, okay, you're talking the A+, not the A2.
But I think that is basically the only difference. By now they have the same clip. Previously, only the A+ had this hinged clip, but I think the A2 now has it as well.
Okay, and the A+ has the twist versus the A2 having the snap cap.
Yeah.
Okay. One thing that I do like about it, the snap on the Arrow, is a very firm snap. So you know the cap isn't going to come loose on you, which is actually pretty nice.
Yeah.
Wow. Now that I feel like I've actually done the review for it, I just have to do the video. Yeah, the other one was just kind of a spur of the moment Instagram thing.
Okay.
Yeah, so you know how people like Newton, Brooks, and a few of the other custom pen people will just post random, here's some pens I have for sale, do you want them, buy them now type things?
Yeah. I always see them, and most of the time it doesn't make sense here in Europe.
Well, that's what happened with this one. Sean posted like, I don't know how many he posted, but he posted quite a few. Yeah. And the one I really wanted was already sold. And so I was just like, okay, well, why not? Let's go ahead and grab one of the others because there's some good materials there. So it was a toss-up between the, here, let me send you the link really quick. Okay, I went ahead and tossed the link in TeamSpeak. So it was a toss-up between the first one on the left, the one that I got, the second one, and the fifth one from the left. Okay. The one I really wanted was number 4, so the Scooby-Doo green resin, but that one had already sold.
Yeah, I would have gone for that white, the layered one. So third from the right.
Number 6.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yes.
That one, yeah. Actually, that one's still available. Okay, no more spending money. Not till I get back from Arizona.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I took that picture to my boss and I'm like, hey, these are the 3 pens I'm looking at. Which one should I get? And he's like, well, the second one really speaks about your personality.
In what way?
You know, I asked him and he said, you're a smart guy. You can figure it out. I still haven't figured it out. Every time I look at that pen, I keep trying to think, okay, what does this say about my personality? And I come up with absolutely nothing.
Yeah, maybe just he couldn't come up with something.
Either that or he was just trying to mess with me, one of the two.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it past him. But yeah, picked it up. I didn't get a special grind on it or anything. Got a bold nib on it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm honestly really happy with it. I like the material. Let me grab it really quick.
Mm-hmm.
Now, yeah, this one has more of the section that I like. So it's got a little bit of a concave right after the threads. The step down from the body to the threads to the section is slightly severe, and it catches the back of my hand just a little. Well, the back of my finger. But because of how he's got the grip section, it feels really good in my hand. And yeah, no problems with it whatsoever. And I got the gold nib on it instead of the nib that he's got pictured there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I should say gold-plated steel nib, not gold nib.
Yeah, cool.
Didn't pay that much for an upgrade.
Yeah, that section looks much more comfortable than the one on the Arrow.
It really is. I would say if you ever ended up like just spur of the moment buying a one-off pen off of Instagram, buy one of his.
Yeah, let's see. Eventually, I'll have to branch out into custom pens and stuff like that as well.
I mean, it's easier for me because like Newton Pens is literally one state over from where I live. But I'm pretty sure international shipping wouldn't be too bad for that.
Yeah, I just need to not spend the money on other things and then have some leftover for pens and stuff.
Yes, the not spending too much on other things problem. I was about to say, moving away from pens for a second now. So, how'd you do on NaCoWriMo?
Well, I didn't really participate. I could see the uptick in letters coming in. And during those 2 weeks now, I didn't really write a lot. I was back at work and somehow I was so tired most days that I couldn't do much. Plus, last week I was home alone with the kids. My wife was at a conference and then I didn't have that much time with all the stuff I had to do. So, yeah, but I never really participate because I never can manage to write that many letters, at least in that short amount of time. I generally do write a lot, but yeah. How about you?
I did not write a single letter in the entire month of February.
Okay.
I don't know how that happened, but I managed to, every time I was going to write, I would get home, I would get sidetracked, and nothing would get done. Luckily, I only had 24 letters to respond to, so over the last 2 days, I wrote 24 letters.
Oh, wow.
And I sent you one on Slack.
Yeah, I see.
That's the one I wrote to Phil.
Almost as good as sort of writing one word per letter. Yeah.
Or writing the entire letter and cutting it up into little one-word segments. That way he has to assemble it like a jigsaw puzzle.
Yeah, I mean, that would be really difficult.
I actually, I started hating myself towards the end of that one, and I was the one writing it.
But I mean, it looks cool when you look at it like a pyramid. I like it.
And for the people listening, no, I'm not going to put it in the show notes because it just got put in the mail today, and Phil hasn't gotten it yet, so I don't want to spoil the fun. But if you ever decide to play a joke on me, I will get you back. In letter form.
Depending on the joke the other person did, that's actually pretty harmless, right?
Yeah, pretty harmless. I mean, I haven't gotten any glitter letters, so I'm happy about that.
I mean, people can just send me glitter letters. I have kids. It's not going to make a difference. We have glitter in the house anyway.
Yeah, I don't want to think about the ramifications of getting glitter on my dogs.
I mean, it's amazing how long this glitter stays around, right? You sort of think you've cleaned up and then weeks later someone has glitter on their body somewhere.
I dropped a backpack in some glitter at school one time back when I was in high school, and I was still finding glitter on that backpack 8 months later.
Mm-hmm.
It was, just glitter and I don't get along. So if you ever want to ensure that it's going to take me like 6 months to reply to your letter because I'm thinking of an evil plan, send me a glitter letter.
Okay.
Actually, please don't send me a glitter letter. Please don't.
Which color do you want? We have, I think, 20 colors here in the house.
Oh boy. If I have to pick the colors, if you're going to be evil, then let's go with blue and green, like the Seattle Seahawks colors. That way it's festive and makes me think of home.
Yeah, I'm not going to do it. At least not yet. I can send you samples of glitter and then you can do it to someone else.
Okay. Man, you, Michael, and Phil mess with me more than any other people I know.
Well, those are the people you have podcasts with, right?
Yeah.
It's easier on a distance, I think, than to do it in person.
Oh, man, I think the world would end if the four of us got into a room together. Wait, this isn't our show notes again for 2 weeks in a row. The Dingbats journal?
Yeah, so last time I moved my I used the moved to the Dingbats for my bullet journal, and then by now I split out my private stuff into a separate journal because somehow that didn't work for me. And now I'm using a tiny pocket-sized notebook for my private bullet journal.
Oh, okay. So you split out into two separate journals.
Yeah. So this is this Pebble stationary pocket notebook, which is like 80 pages of 52 GSM Tomoe River paper, with a very nice 4mm dot grid. So basically the perfect notebook for me.
Of course.
And yeah, and that's also the second notebook that Stu sent me along with the Dingbats. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It also fits in that pocket of the Knox Sinclair, so it's always protected and close to a pen, I guess. Yeah, somehow those work and private life notes didn't really go well together.
Yeah,
I don't know. They're just too different.
Well, I'm saying goodbye to Rhodia Dotpad for my pen and ink reviews.
Okay. What are you using now?
I'm going to start using an endless notebook, one of the Tomoe River paper notebooks.
Mm-hmm.
So when I do a pen review, when I do an ink review, I'm going to do it on Tomoe River. And that way, I've got a notebook that's got all the reviews I've done in it. And I'll be doing them on Tomoe. The only thing I'm not going to do is the water test.
Yeah, only once.
Right. I'm keeping Rhodia around for that.
Yeah.
I don't want to be dunking that notebook into water. I've got to be able to keep using those pages.
Yeah, that's true.
But I also ended up declaring notebook bankruptcy.
In which sense?
Well, my finances got a little too crazy for the ledger style that I was doing in one of my Rhodia goal books.
Mm-hmm.
And so I finally caved in and built a spreadsheet system in Excel.
Okay. Yeah, sometimes it's just easier to do that way. That's true.
Yeah, it really is. It was painful transferring all the information from that notebook into an Excel document. Took the better part of, 30 hours.
That's a lot. Now you need to make sure that it's really, really well backed up, right?
It is. On-site, off-site, and cloud.
Yeah, 3, 2, 1.
Mm-hmm. 3 is 2, 2 is 1, 1 is none, and 4 would be better, but can't think of a fourth at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bit like FPC, right? This could also all be done on paper, tracking your pens and inks and what's currently inked, but sometimes it's just easier.
Exactly, that it most certainly is. Which I've actually got... I really do need to update my inks on FPC. I really do. Because I've got more than the 10 that I've got listed there. People keep ensuring that I've got more ink to work with. So to all the people sending me ink samples, thank you. The Inktwell has reviews to do for about a year and a half now.
I mean, I also have quite a lot of inks that people have sent me. I think I by now have almost 100 inks that I haven't tried yet. Out of 230 or something. So it's sort of building FPC sort of worked for my use case of trading ink samples, I guess. Now I have enough to try for the next year or two, basically.
Yeah, there could be worse things.
Yeah, there could be not enough ink. Also.
Well, there is that. You know what else I'm going to be trying a lot of?
What?
Coffee.
Yeah.
I did a one-off coffee review for the YouTube channel.
Yeah, I saw it, yeah.
I mean, it just got me thinking. I drink probably 7-8 cups of coffee per day.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes perfect sense for me to try new coffee and give my thoughts about it.
I also need to step up my coffee game, especially when I work from home starting in April. I have more flexibility in what coffee I drink.
You know, you just came up with the title for this week's episode, right?
What did I say?
I need to step up my coffee game.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That is perfect. I mean, it's true, though. Even I need to step up my coffee game.
Yeah, probably not as much as I do. Yeah. I'm on the quest of finding I don't know if it's the coffee or the machine we use or the combination of both, but a good espresso that you can drink without milk and sugar. And that's kind of hard to find.
Yeah, and that's going to be the hardest part of doing this review stuff with the coffee, because some coffees I've come across just taste horrible unless you put something in with them. But I can't give an honest, accurate review unless I drink it black.
Mm.
So there's a few custom blends that people are already recommending that I'm starting to get worried about.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you don't really have to review the bad ones if you don't want to, I guess.
Well, the way they're describing like the flavor profile, it's a flavor profile that can either be really, really good or go south really, really quick. And that's what worries me about it. Because if it's really, really good, then awesome. I've got a great coffee. If it goes south, then there's no recovering from that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, at that point, it's better to go to the gas station and just get some coffee from there.
Yeah, that is sort of the lowest of the low, I guess. Yeah.
It is sometimes, but we've got some gas stations that actually take pride in their coffee. So occasionally you get one that's got some really good filter coffee, and it's like, wow, you guys know your stuff. Congrats.
Interesting. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, my friend, it is 6:30 there for you?
Yes.
Go grab yourself some coffee. I'm going to go ahead and get to editing. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Bye.